Welcome to Cooking with Rick. Today I'm going to make breakfast. Now, I'm usually the guy that doesn't cook. I go through and get my food through a clown's head and such. So recently I started cooking. And so this is more a beginner's guide for other beginners. So it's a lot of trial and error. I've made a couple successful dishes and I thought, what the heck? I'll show others what I do, and it's not complicated, and if I could do it, anyone can. So today I'm going to bake some bacon and make some breakfast. So here's the bacon. It's in the package. I take the bacon, I take a cookie sheet, I put foil on the cookie sheet, I'm going to put the bacon in there, and then I'm going to pop it in the oven. Alright, you can see now that I've covered the cookie sheet with the foil. I do this so it makes it easier to clean, because we know when they get all that bacon grease, dealing with it afterwards is sometimes a hassle. So when I bake my bacon, I take the foil, wrap the cookie sheet, I try to make sure it has a little bit of a lip so that when later on it doesn't spill out. And now I'm going to put my bacon on there. So, why bake bacon, someone may ask. I have, like I was saying before, or said before, I'm usually the guy that would go out there to the stores or to the Clown's Head or to Denny's and all that and order. And I noticed when I was getting bacon from, say like Denny's, they were coming out consistent, and when I fried up my bacon, it wasn't. And I found out they were baking their bacon. So I did the difficult task of looking up on the internet how to bake bacon. And it's pretty much as you might think. You heat the oven to 375, and then you put it, they have, I think, a big cookie sheet or pan to cook in. Mine's just a standard cookie sheet. So sometimes I can't get the whole package of bacon on one sheet. So sometimes I'm doing one sheet and then I'm doing another sheet. I'll actually use the same sheet with the same foil. Depending on the bacon and how thick or how much fat and grease. I don't want the grease, obviously, or the bacon grease to overflow. Now this bacon here, Oscar Mayer bacon here, the first few slices were very thin. These will probably cook up pretty quickly. Now these slices here are much thicker. So those will probably take more time. So I'll probably have to remove those first few slices sooner than these thicker slices. But I will show you that as well. So I'm going to preheat my oven to 375. I've got these bacon slices. I don't want them on top of each other because then it gets hard to separate. So I kind of make sure there's a little bit of gap between all of them. Because later on we're going to have to flip them. At least that's what they said on the internet. So I will flip them. You give them about 10 minutes or so. Flip them, another 10 minutes or so. And in theory at 375, these should be cooked enough. So now, my oven is not yet at 375, it's at 275, so I'm going to pause this video and we'll put it in. Alright, our oven says 375, so we're going to pop this bad boy in. I'm a top rack type of guy, so I'm going to take my bacon and place on the top rack. It's 1022. We'll look at this bad boy in about 10 minutes. Alright, and now I'm also starting to work on my hash browns. So the hash browns, what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this potato and grate it. So I read this on the internet, again, cooking with the internet. And I'm doing this video to show you that if someone at my age and inexperience in cooking can cook a full breakfast at home without going to Denny's or Clown's Head, you can do it too. So I'll show you. Here's the potato. I'm getting ready to peel it, and then I will actually grate it. And but let me show you a little bit. I don't think it's too difficult to show you how to peel a potato. I think if I could peel a potato, the original recipe I read said a pound, I think. So anyway, I did it once before, and I had hash browns for days because it was a lot more than I needed. So today I'm just going to take one potato. I peeled it, as you can see. I'm going to grate it into this pan, or pot rather, and I'm going to remove the starch, and I'll show you what that means in a second. I had to read about this. Again, if I can do it, you all can do it too. And I don't say you all because I'm Southerner. Well, I'm in Southern California, so I guess that is a Southerner way. But anyone can do it if I can do it, and this is just proof positive. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you a little bit of the grating process. You can see it's just elbow grease and this old-fashioned grater. Some of you probably have equipment and tools like food processors and such like that. Again, our bacon is bacon in the oven. We'll check on that after about the 10-minute mark. In the meantime, I'm grating my potato. So this is going to be hash browns, eggs, and bacon breakfast. High-end cooking here at Rick's Kitchen. As you can see, I'm using the highest tech equipment with that tripod, or also known as a hand wipe sanitizer. So holding my camera while I'm showing you how I grade these potatoes. I have successfully made this before. So again, if I can do it, anyone that is not a cook can do it too. I've actually made my own spaghetti sauce recently, successfully, so I will share that with you. It was an arrabbiata sauce, and it came out delicious. All right, you can see now I'm putting in some water here. This is to get the starch out. You can see how the water gets cloudy. That's why I'm looking to wash out the starch. And then we're going to drain that. Hold on. So you can see how cloudy that water is. That's all the starch in the potato. We don't want to grill that or have that in our hash browns. So I'm going to strain that. Try to get all that cloudiness out of my potatoes. So I've poured that. And what I'm going to do it is one more time. So I'm going to put that back in here. So this is one potato. Like I said, the first time I did a couple of potatoes. And it was a lot of starch. You can see water is a lot less cloudy this time. Stirring it up. pour that in here. Again, trying to remove the starch. Let's see how it comes out this time. Alright, let's see how cloudy it gets this time. Putting water in. And you can see it's pretty much cloud free at this time. I'll strain it one more time. And then we're going to call this ready for the hash browning. The hash browning process doesn't take much time at all, but again, I never made my homemade hash browns before. My friend was telling me about how you had to boil the potatoes, do all these different things. This particular style, there's no boiling potatoes ahead of time. It's basically, you just grate it, peel it. Actually, you have to peel it, then grate it. Strain it a couple of times, get out that starch, and then we're going to be hash browning it in a minute. All right, let's see what our time is for our bacon. And it has been 10 minutes. And we can see they're coming along really nicely. I'll pull them out real quickly to show you. Under the oven light and the light temperature, it makes it look a lot more cooked than I can see with my eyes. So I'm going to show you because color temperature affects the way the video looks. How these look. They're still a lot redder in the video than they are to my naked eye. So definitely needs at least another 10 more minutes on this side. So we're at 10:33. We're going to come back and look at this at 10:43. And we'll be pausing this and coming back and looking then. Alright, so we're at 10:42. So it's been another 10 minutes. We're going to take a look at our bacon now. Remember, we have the thinner slices on the end. Yeah, those end ones are definitely more cooked than the other ones. So, the instruction. This is called cooking spray. And we've got our pan coated with that spray. The recipe asks for extra virgin olive oil. So I'm about to put some extra virgin olive oil in. And here goes the extra virgin olive oil into the pan. Okay, so we got that into the pan. And it also talked about butter. Putting in unsalted butter. I don't have unsalted butter. I do have the salted butter. So I'm going to put in salted butter. And here's my salted butter. I know they had precise measurements, but again, I'm not a professional cook, so I have kind of done things on my own. And so I am going to use about that much butter right there. That looks like a fair amount. All right. Get that cooking. Hash browns. So what we've done so far, we've grated our potatoes and got the starch off. Now we're going to put our potatoes in. And I'm going to season my potatoes with some garlic salt. Of Of course, it's got the extra virgin olive oil. And yes, I do own a tripod, those of you who are wondering, but a lot of you don't. I want to show you this could be done by a guy that doesn't really cook and is just using his phone. Yes, I do have professional equipment and I could do this on an entirely different scale, but again, this is for beginners that don't want to have the great expense and want to see that yes, you can make your own cooking video with your phone. Now, I've told students and other people that are trying to make cooking videos that if you go to that extra link, you spend a few dollars, you get the tripod, and you get the lights, it's going to make it look a lot better. But I'm thinking a lot of people are intimidated. This is very imitative, just doing this, but intimidated by that process. So I'm doing this without all that extra equipment, without the lights, without the tripod, just me and my phone and an oven and food. So we're gonna have this, again, all we did, I mixed in some spices. You got the extra virgin olive oil. I coated the pan so hopefully it's not going to stick so much. We're going to have to flip this over in about 10 minutes or so. While that's cooking, let's check on our bacon again. Okay. That other bacon's coming along nicely. Might be ready to remove that. I'm going to pull that out and take a look what we're thinking. So I'm trying to time this all. Okay, so you can see I have two different stages. This stage, really thick bacon. I'm going to flip it one more time. That looks much better now. So I flipped it twice now. These are much thicker slices. The other ones I just flipped once. You can see the ones that came in fresh. Alright, so this is going to be the last time I flip that one. Those are going to be ready to come out. Those will flip over next time. And these will go back in the oven. Depends how crisp you like your bacon. Here's our bacon from earlier. Spot on, delicious. Very tasty. Nice and evenly cooked the way I like it. Okay. Those thin slices are delicious. I'm going to have to sample the thicker slices a little bit later on. I have worked on cooking shows before. Cooking shows will have as many as 4 cameras and crew. This is all done handheld. No tripod, no lights, no special effects. I might go through and add graphics at the end. Alright, so these are going to have to cook some more before I flip them over. I'll just try to stir that butter around, get the butter in there. And I do have some garlic butter that I'm probably thinking of adding on. We'll do that in a second. I'm going to let this cook some more and then we'll flip it and we'll some spices. You got the extra virgin olive oil. I coated the pan so hopefully it's not going to stick so much. We're going to have to flip this over in about 10 minutes or so. While that's cooking, let's check on our bacon again. Okay. That other bacon's coming along nicely. Might be ready to remove that. I'm going to pull that out and take a look what we're thinking. So I'm trying to time this all. Okay, so you can see I have two different stages. This stage, really thick bacon. I'm going to flip it one more time. That looks much better now. So I flipped it twice now. These are much thicker slices. The other ones, I just flipped them once. You can see the ones that came in fresh. Alright, so this is going to be the last time I flip that one. Those are going to be ready to come out. Those will flip over next time. And these will go back in the oven. Depends how crisp you like your bacon. Here's our bacon from earlier. Spot on, delicious. Very tasty. Nice and evenly cooked the way I like it. Okay. Those thin slices are delicious. I'm going to have to sample the thicker slices a little bit later on. I have worked on cooking shows before. Cooking shows will have as many as 4 cameras and crew. This is all done handheld. No tripod, no lights, no special effects. I might go through and add graphics at the end. Alright, so these are going to have to cook some more before I flip them over. I'll just try to stir that butter around, get the butter in there. And I do have some garlic butter that I'm probably thinking of adding on. We'll do that in a second. I'm going to let this cook some more and then we'll flip it and we'll remove that other bacon. Alright, it's been about 4 minutes more. We've gone by. I added some garlic butter with herbs to give it some more flavoring. I do like the flavored garlic. You can season it as you want. You can see how it's browning very nicely. I'm going to flip these over. I usually, as I coat the pan, it's not going to fight me too much. You can see it's a nice golden brown here, but there's some other stuff I need to get under to flip underneath it. So I'm trying to get all flipped so it can all cook on both sides. These are hash browns, so they could be messy. One of these dishes you have to have, you don't have to look perfect or anything like that. Okay, so now we'll let it brown on this side. I really feel like I have to get under here and flip this some more. And that's sticking a little bit on the pan, you can see. Not too bad. Now let's go back to our bacon. Okay, so we have more slices ready to come off the pan, and these other slices are ready to flip. So we shall endeavor to persevere here. So these are going to come off and go. I put the other ones on the paper towel to have the grease come off. And these 2 slices are coming off. These are going to flip for the first time. And I'm going to put my final slices on. Right. One final flip. These hash browns are about done. Some people like them less well done. This is in my wheelhouse right here. It's where I like them like this. So I am going to turn off the fire on this. And call that done. We'll be taking that out. Alright, to go with our bacon and our hash browns, we're going to make an omelet. I got one egg in here, put a little bit of milk in it, and I'm going to mix it up until it's all consistently one color. I've already coated my pan with that spray so that the egg doesn't stick. I've grated some cheese, and I've taken some ham lunch meat and I've kind of chopped that up a little bit. So we're going to have a ham and egg omelet with this. Pouring this into the pan, again, which has been coated. Now, it would help if I turn on the fire, wouldn't it? And now we're cooking with gas, as they say. I'm going to season this a little bit too at this point. I find that I've enjoyed the taste of oregano. So I'm going to put some oregano. And of course, I'm a big fan of pepper. So, sprinkle some pepper in there. And I put a little bit of milk in it to make it creamy. We've already got our hash browns removed from the pan. Our bacon's going to be ready. Oh, probably about the time these eggs are ready. So what I like to do, I don't like my things runny, so I have a little bit of higher flame probably than a lot of people. I'll let it cook. Coat the pan with the egg before I put the other ingredients inside. So we will come back to this in a moment. So this will be a few minutes later when we next visit this. Alright, so it's cooking down. I'm trying to push the egg back a little bit so I get the runny bits to come into the spot I just emptied. So I'm trying to cook this egg as well as possible. I don't have one of those omelet pans. Actually I do. I have to dig it out. This is my pan I use all the time for cooking. So I'm going to let this try to get all the loose bits of egg fully cooked. We're about there. I'm going to start taking my ham and cheese and putting it inside my egg. I popped in some toast in the toaster. So we'll have some toast to go with our omelet and our hash browns. I grated this cheese. The ham was just some lunch meat that broke into bits. Fold this over in a second here. Looking good. I like to see that cheese start to melt so I know when to take this off the fire. We are getting there. Preparing a spot on the plate. There we got our hash browns and our omelet. Let's see what the bacon looks like. Oh yeah, we got more bacon. All right, so we're going to take that out. Got some pieces on the end there that are definitely done. And you know what? A little bit of bacon grease on top of my hash browns. Ain't gonna kill anyone. I do take cholesterol pills, so they get their money's worth this week. And I'm going to flip this one more time. Flip these one more time. Flip that one more time. Come back and revisit these. We'll be done in about 5 minutes. But for all intents and purposes, we got our toast ready. I just stepped over to grab the toast, and there you have it. A couple of strips of bacon, 1 egg omelet, some hash browns, and a couple pieces of toast. We're going to call this